Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, and today we are going through the real base tours. This is another video in that series where we play on official Rust servers to show you what actual bases can look like when under fire, resource shortages, and just the official experience. This is for PC players and for the future players for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as we are both getting the beta this year, and we are also getting full release Rust on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And boy, oh boy, I cannot wait. So hopefully by the time the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 Rust players are seeing this, we are actively playing the beta, or we know about it, or it's happening soon. So hang in there. So this should help everybody, especially if you're new. Ooh, that's a guy. Okay, going inside. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, well, we'll continue the tour inside. Okay, so here's how it works. It's official right here. Oh man, that's so funny. Okay, so again, this is to show, let me go ahead and turn this down in case this guy gets spicy on us. Okay, so yes, this is to show the good, the bad, the ugly, and just what it's like to play an official, because that's primarily where we play, and it can just be, it's the true Rust experience, because you never know what you're going to get. Alright, so let's start with our TC room. I was not expecting that to happen, so this is gonna be a little off base. Actually, no. Let's start with the main garage. So, I did say the good, the bad, and everything in between. We did have to adapt very quickly in this particular wipe. Well, yeah. By the way, we're calling this Bandit Slope or Bandit Slopes for this particular wipe and this base build. Okay, so I'm gonna tab over to a CAD program. It's like CAD, but it helps you plan out base building, so this might help break down what we're looking at here. So we're in the garage area here. Let me go ahead and bring it down. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. We're in this main garage area, but you often hear me say you don't want to build too big past your resource threshold, whether you're playing single player or solo, duo, or a squad. This space is pretty large. The upkeep is big, and I think there's a lot of wasted space so far. I still think there's a lot to be taken from this. There's a lot of good ideas that I've kind of hatched out of just necessity here, and there's some other things I'll change in the future. I kind of like the idea of having a garage attached to the building, as modular vehicles are now in the primary or live version of Rust, so that means it'll be in there for our full release and hopefully for our beta release for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One Rust. But yeah, I was toying with the idea to do a separate garage or an attached garage. Obviously, the benefits of having an attached garage are, you know, you can just walk out of your base. See, this is like the main base side here. And then this would be the garage area. But you can see there's a lot of open air space, and we have to pay for the upkeep on all these squares, if you didn't know, back in the TC. As a matter of fact, let me go back here and show you. Hopefully this makes sense, because I know I'm first person and jumping around a lot. I have a lot of doors. The more squares you have, the more structure you have, the more upkeep it's going to take. And let me just show you what this looks like. Whoopsie. Here's our main TC. The tool cupboard controls the building ownership, and if people raid your base and they take over the TC, they can take over your structure. So it's also very unique. I don't know of any other game that really does something like that. So you can see the upkeep right here, 6,438 stone. That's a lot for our current, like we're not even in tier 3 like workbench. We're still looking for garage doors. 6,000 is pretty expensive. It's not impossible. You could do it solo for sure. We're looking at, let's see, 1,500 or yeah, 1,502 fragments and 663 wood, which is a little high, but I'll show you why. So let's back up here and go back to the main area and show you what this is all about. I know what I want to do this in chunks, but hopefully this makes sense while I'm kind of walking through this. That guy shot me outside. That's so funny. As a matter of fact, let's kind of slink our way back outside. See if we can't pick up our stuff. I'm sure he stole it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, alright. That works. Nice. Okay, so one of the main reasons why we picked this location here, I know we're kind of all over the place here, but one of the main reasons why we did this in this spot, and one of the main reasons why we have the problems we're having with this particular build, it's built on a slope, and that's not always the best, but sometimes you have to make do because there's other structures around. By the way, the structures on the center of the screen, those are not ours. This one is ours. So we had to just place down here, but we wanted to be close to the Bandit camp. This is us. This is the Bandit camp. The Bandit camp, with the new updates since July 2020, there have been some really great changes as far as how the Bandit camp works, or the safety zones, or even the outposts. And again, if you didn't know, every map from here on out, or in future versions of this game, everything's going to be procedural, which means you'll have you'll have outposts and you'll have bandit camps, but you'll have areas of interest, monuments, all over the place, and the terrain will change and the monument position will change. So there's certain features you'll always have. So again, outpost and bandit camp. Outpost is great, it has a safety zone, and so is the bandit camp, but now you're pretty much safe when you're inside of those zones, which is perfect. And one of the major reasons why we like that safe zone is A, for protection, especially when things get really crazy, and I'm sure you guys will know firsthand when the beta hits in full release for PlayStation 4 and Xbox. It's quite, the population, the traffic is high in these areas, but oftentimes you'll need to recycle. And you can do them at monuments, but it's contested. So a lot of times when you have a lot of your high value loot, you're going to want to take it to a safer place to recycle. And one of those places is the riverboat recycler at the bandit camp. There's probably a guy walking around in here right now. I can hear him. Pitter patter at this thing right here. And if you look in the lower right hand corner, it says safe zone, which basically means now if anybody shoots me, I will not take damage here. So you have a safe place to actually do recycling, which is huge for this. Also, this little protection ring helps us against our enemies. Alright, so that's why we built here. That's why we placed down in a less than ideal position. And like I said, I'm not super keen on our build because I think it's a bit larger. But we're always going to make do with what we have. We always do with every single wipe that we play. And you learn a lot. You learn to really just, you know, push the resources and the positioning the best you can, and you learn to look out for those things in the future. Okay. Let's go back inside. Show you what this looks like. Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to break this down. That guy shooting us outside threw me way off. Alright, so we've got the garage here. Garages take a ton of space for these lifts. And part of the reasons why you want this inside your base... Oops. Well, A, your decay on this vehicle is going to be less because it's indoors. People are less likely to steal it. But you want to be able to put things on the lift because you can change the configuration around on the vehicle. Is that another dude outside? But you can also lock your car as well. See, now it's back. This is the rear of the vehicle. Here's the front. You can take these pieces off, right? These individual modules. And you can put them in a chest, and they will not decay over time, so that's huge. Vehicles are such a big part of this game now, so you really want to utilize it, whether it's a separate structure or it's inside. I would highly suggest inside. Okay, so one of the major things we ran into immediately was the power consumption for the lift. And if we look here, this lift goes over here. Power goes to our medium battery. And we have a switch for that. It's actually a smart switch, and I should link right now the offline rate protection video that we've done. I'll go ahead and do that. In the upper right hand corner. These switches, the smart notification block, are all things that really, they link to the Rust Plus application on your phone, Android or iOS. And you basically can interact with the game through your phone. So, good example, I am now on the Rust Plus application, going to hit the indoor lights. Look at that. I didn't touch anything. How cool is that? So what I did was, to save power, I put a switch, or a smart switch, on the lift. The lift takes a lot of juice. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on now. See, the switch just lit up. If we go over here, this is now green. And if I get my power cable, let me go ahead and show you. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for everybody. There we go. We get our power cable. You can see just how much this is consuming, or how much it requires. It takes 20, which is quite a bit. The medium battery puts off 50, and we'll be lucky during the day, peak hours, we would get 40 out of our solar panels on top. So you can see why we want to just turn it off when we're not using it, because when this is on, it's burning 20. So watch, when I turn off the lift power, look at the consumption on the battery now. It's now 7 out of 50 as opposed to 28 out of 50. So that's a big deal. You can make this a normal switch, or you can physically break the connection and then connect it when you need it. But knowing that we had very little power to begin with, I wanted to make sure that we got the vehicles in, stripped them, or turn on the power, strip the vehicle, and then turn this off as soon as possible, because we only had one solar panel for a very long time. Is that guy jumping outside? So that's one of the main reasons why. Okay, we'll go back and touch base on this. Sorry, this is kind of all over the place. So when we added this section here, it's huge. It's a giant footprint, right? Like we've got almost 3 blocks by 2 blocks. And we have to create a straight passageway here. We have to create 1.5 walls to go all the way up. So it's a big hollow space. So right away, this could be the footprint or the size of a normal base, just this garage section here. So just wrap your head around that. And based off of the hill outside being, well, on the slope, we had a very difficult time expanding outward, which is something you really, really, really want to watch out for whenever you're building in this game. I'm going to put this here and put our modules here, because I think we have to step outside. I want to show you the spot we had difficulty with. We're gonna get clapped, I bet ya. We gotta throw these down. Yeah, this side right here. This is the battery section. See a jump right there. But we ran into the hill, and we had to just keep going up, and with what we had already built, it just didn't work out. So expanding the garage right away, we had like this multi-tiered thing that we weren't planning for, so we had to just make do. So I was asking myself, what do I put on there? What do I do? How do I utilize this space? We had to create this L for some kind of protection around this. So I thought to myself, let's do lockers for running outside quickly. And again, this is not the best setup. There's no airlock here, so this is extremely dangerous for our players. This is it. Like, this airlock is in here. That's why we have code locks. So if somebody goes deep on our doors, at least it'll stop them for a few seconds. But ideally, we want to make sure that this triangle down here will become an airlock. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that in the future. Anyways, okay, so again, I'm all over the place. So yeah, we had to create this L here. It made it really janky, so I had to figure out different ways to do this. And we didn't put a roof on here for a long time because we couldn't afford it. We just created a small area that was powered to throw vehicles on. That was the whole focus of this build, was to put down, get close to the bandit camp, and get a vehicle running of some sort, because it gives us so much reach across the map. And access to more loot and scrap. Okay, so let's go to the center core. Let's go ahead and talk that through so you guys know what I'm talking about here. So the TC room is up here. And let me go ahead and switch over to Fortify so you can see what I'm talking about. This is... oh, rating. Nice. We're trying to do a base tour and there's like people getting ripped. Okay, this is the TC. Right here, the white highlight. So we originally started with this. We had a compartment here, and this triangle over here was the initial airlock. So the other problem with this area is we could basically build here, these squares I'm lighting up, and no further. So we were instantly pinched in, and usually want to make sure that your TC is honeycombed. You have surrounding compartments around it, so it's much more difficult for people to raid. So I had to really make these. So this wall is exposed currently outside. Let me go ahead and pull back. And so one of the things we had to do early on was upgrade the material of the wall to make sure that people couldn't just easy raid through stone. I mean, it's not easy, but you know what I mean. If somebody got the gist that our TC was there, they would just pop our stone. So we had to be really careful. So that was our first big problem. We put down and we got pinched in, so we had to really like wind the honeycomb in such a way that it made sense. So our initial build out was from here to this square to this square, which is our processing? I mean, it's storage, but it's also processing. I'll show you here in a second. We're standing in this room currently. There's furnaces, and there's a workbench here in the corner. Okay, so let's tab out. This is the room we're currently in. I'm going to take a swig of the old tactical cylinder. Yeah. Ah. So this is the airlock here. And this is the processing. Again, we move so quickly that I didn't actually utilize this space that we can jam more boxes in here. We can put more furnaces. It's crazy. So this is the room right here we're talking about. This guy here, wiggle, wiggle. And this was our initial square. It was 2 by 3 triangles in the front. Then I realized at that point that building this direction and this direction were already limited. So that's what I'm talking about by permanence and building in this game. And you had to just roll with it because people were all over the place trying to attack us. So the next best idea was to roll out this way and then spin this. Let me go ahead and get above it, sorry. And again, I hope this CAD stuff really makes sense. So from here, we had to build out and around because it was important that we had to jump up. I don't know how well we can show this. Yeah. Our jump up is over here in the back. So creating more space for storage, but then creating a jump up point for us here. Can I go up one? There we go. And this is our jump up. And this is just open air TC honeycomb above this door. And you actually cannot see this now because it's totally locked off. But it's actually like this. Let me just show you. Alright, this isn't supposed to be... Oh, it is actually there. What am I saying? It's because we have the cutaway on. Shh. I was going to say, I knew I put it in there. I put them on both. The real one and the CAD. Actually, let me just show you. No floors. Or floors active. If I cut this away, you can see that there's honeycomb here. Metal, metal. And this is actually metal as well. They're both metal. And if I cut this wall away, you can see our TC is right there. Let me close that door. So in order to stop people from blasting downward, I created a half wall honeycomb and just kind of built up, if that makes sense. Alright, let me go back to the context. So you'll know why this little area here is just all metalled out. It's to protect the TC. We had to go up on quality. And it costs more for upkeep. Let's not forget, metal has to be processed. Metal fragments, high quality metal, all that good stuff. Alright, let me save this right here. And we will continue in the real model here. So, actually let me back up. Go to floor. We're going to go down one. We're going to go around this wraparound here on the outskirts. Beep, beep. It's going to get dark on us. Floor, down. There we go. So we're currently in this room, the processing. We're going to go through these airlocks here, this lit up triangle. These are single pass doorways. Let me show you what this looks like real quick. They go into a triangle, so when a door opens, it blocks somebody from going through. Anyways, so we're going to leave this room. This wraparound here is for storage, and we're going to head over to the jump up here. We're going to do that in-game. Here we are in the storage. Let's go ahead and open this door, passing through. Again, the triangle pass-throughs for protection beefs up. Here's some more storage. This could be placed better again, but with all the boys playing with this, we have 4 people playing on this wipe. They were just doing awesome and getting so many materials. I had to really expand quickly. We've got a locker here for people to grab. We put our 0 tier or 1 tier type armor here. Help sort things, tools, boxes. Around the back. This door, and here's our jump up. You can see this wall here shares the TC room. Actually, this is the TC room. And this jump up here leads to the second floor. So this wraparound serves for, what, 3 purposes? Honeycomb, storage, and keeping a distance between, actually 2 things. And it gives us honeycomb. Storage, honeycomb, and enables us to go to the wraparound in the back. So I guess that would be 3. Here's our second floor. And again, if we were to cross over, this area right there is definitely the TC. This is the TC room in front. I'll kind of give you a visual reference here. We're looking into the floor on this room right here. Floor 2, floor 1. Better at 1 or here at 2. So let that sink in. There's people outside. Go away! So we're still in the process of expanding here. I wanted to make sure I went through and did this tour before we got raided, so you guys could see our thought process. But this floor has now become, since we're just getting so much loot, this is going to be storage, but also honeycomb. So we're going to do 2 floors of boxes. We still can't afford all the doors, things like this. That's our jump down. We're going to have beds up here. And over here, yeah, you just have to really always make do with whatever you have, and as quickly as possible. I have to be careful. This dude might be on my rooftop. So this is a little tricky. This is a weird spot. Now we're over the garage, the car garage, right here. Just below us. Oops, oops. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let me erase this floor in here real quick so you know what this is all about. Alright, let me put the full floor on. Boop. You can see right here, this is the floor we're on, which is going to be the garden room. If we go right below it, there is the garage we were just in. So I just added this. I haven't done the growing yet. These lights here will be on all the time, growing things. Growing is a big part of the game now because it really keeps your troops, it keeps you at full health. It helps you recover after you respawn. It's just such a big part of the battle or the combat loop that you really want to just embrace it. You really, really need it. Here's our water containers, and our lights. And so I figured the best place to put this garden was over the garage, because if anybody were to break through the floors or come through the ceiling, these areas they're valuable, but they're not like loot valuable, if that makes sense. So if we're going to get raided, I'd rather them hit an empty garage and a bunch of garden plots. Okay, we're going to go out to the rooftop. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to make this terribly long. Oh yes, because we can't afford doors, we had to, again, you have to smelt metal. I just made these wooden doors. I'll replace these, and then I'll go over and recycle these to recover the wood so we can burn more metal fragments later. I figure if people want to get in and get curious, you know, no big deal, they can break in, and it kind of makes us look poor too, so it serves a dual purpose. Okay, you can see our rooftop here. And again, this is another reason why this area is so dangerous for us, because this hill gives people a top down on us, and they can also jump. They can do a raid build on the side here and jump in very easily. So roping this off early has been a problem, so we're doing the best we can as fast as we can. And again, this is that L downstairs, and there's the entrance to the garage. And if I jump up here, you can see this is going to be our jump up for the 3rd story, which I believe this whole area is going to be an area for us to land a helicopter, land somewhere, and then have a garage for the helicopter to land in. Or it's going to be up here. I'm not sure yet, because right below here is the garden. So we're working on it, and if you look right here, you can see that's the storage room. So this is pretty dangerous. Yeah, it's this is the way it is, right? You gotta just fight for every inch you have. Oh look, those are players flying away. That's so cool. And again, with the new patch, and this is going to be the new norm, the bandit camps are also places where you purchase your helicopters. It's a big deal. And you can do a lot of trade-ins here as well. Okay, so we've got our garden. We have our future helicopter pad out here. And let's go over some of the defensive stuff we're going to do once we can afford it. So one of the reasons why out here we've got this triangle is I would like to make this a turret port for us to cover the garage door as we pull in with a vehicle. These would be automated doors that we can control through the Rust app, or they can be triggered by sensors. And so if people are here camping or walking by, this will open up and protect us as we pull in, which is huge. Also, the game plan for the helicopter pad is to put on the corner another one of those turrets on the corner to give us protection. So I'll show you here in Fortify in a sec. Pretty wild. But even though this isn't our ideal base and we had to deal with some problems, we're still learning, we're still pulling things away from this build. Experiences, things we want to change, things we did do right. So just because you're having a rough time with a build doesn't mean it's all bad. As a matter of fact, you learn the most, I think, from builds like this. So I always welcome them. Oh yeah, check this out. So because it takes so long to go inside and open doors up and shut them again, we create these little drop-off points here. Single pass-throughs, and they go into the wall. I'll show you here in a sec. Garage, again, no airlock, extremely dangerous. Enables us to pass it into this area back here. Yeah, and then here's our main TC room. Helps us kind of pass it through. And our most valuable stuff is inside here. Components, crafted things, TC items, and our highest workbench, which is workbench 2. So yeah, there's most of it. Oh yeah, let me go back here and show you. So again, the Rust Plus application, super useful. And I've used it, oops, sorry, I'm getting so confused. I'm using different skins on these doors to help me navigate through here, but I still get pinched through. And again, to control lighting, because we're indoors now and we don't necessarily need to have these on because it's daylight, I'm controlling the indoor lights like so. And the main switch is here, past the gingerbread house, or gingerbread door. I'm pressing this on the app, but there's an active switch here, which is cool because if you don't have your phone up or you're not linked up, and it's nighttime, you can still see this switch when you're coming into a dark base. So that was my thought on that. So we can control it from here, and you can see the light as you're entering the door. So it's worked out pretty well. And again, our power consumption is very, very high. I would recommend, if you're going to do, well, a handful of lights and a lift, but really put a lift on a switch if you can manage, because they suck up energy. Because think about it. If the lift is on, like right now, it's chewing up 20 units. You're not using this. Watch, I'll turn it off now. It's good. Like, only turn it on when you're actively switching things around. Otherwise, 20 units of power is quite a bit. We were able to do this off of one solar panel, rather. Initially, it took us a few in-game days to charge it up enough to run this. So if you're going to do this almost immediately, make sure you're getting your battery situation up and running. And again, we bought our, I think you can buy a medium battery here at the Bandit camp. Another amazing reason to park your base next to it. Look at car parts. The medium car parts are sold here too. There we go. One medium rechargeable battery, 75 scrap. So if you're not lucky enough to find it in the world, you can grab it there. Also, if you're having a hard time getting the, look at that, military transport. If you're having a hard time getting solar panels or a wind turbine, you can go over to the outpost and purchase your, where are you? Solar panel, small solar panel, where are you? Large solar panel, there we go, 75 scrap, right there. So if you don't find them, you can go there and purchase them. And get started on charging up your batteries, and so you can power things like lights and lifts. And if you have an opportunity, smart switches are the best, and you can buy smart switches at the outpost. I would recommend doing that because it costs tech trash. And 75 seems like a lot, but I'm telling you, they're worth their weight in gold. And I'll put my stuff here. Oh wait, I already did. Alright, I think we got most of it. So yeah, we have a garage as a feature here. We have a garden upstairs where we will be adding a helicopter port on top. So I think overall, the idea is there, but I think the execution, we built a little too big too fast. We didn't really scope out the area enough, which happens. I think we're making do with what we have, but I think in the future if I do this, I'm going to make this a lot more compact. But we definitely learned a lot on this one because this garage space is huge. So yes, this is our real base tour, the Bandit Slope, or Bandit Slopes, here on official servers, and I cannot wait for us to all be playing the Rust console beta for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. And by the way, it will be cross-play between Xbox and PlayStation 4, and it will not be cross-play between... It will not be cross-play between Xbox and PC, or PlayStation and PC, if that makes sense. I'm trying to see. I don't know how well you guys can see any of this. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Here we go. Night vision. Does that help, or is it just blown out? So yeah, that's the base tour, and hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like. And if you're not subscribed and you are into open world survival content, consider dropping a subscribe and turning on those notifications. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video or live stream. Alright, we'll see you guys later. I love you. Bye!